The total public debt in America just crossed over $34 trillion. Last year alone, it grew by $2.6 trillion, which is an increase of almost $5 million every single minute. The country has been in debt going back as far as its foundation and the American Revolution. This centuries-long trend is not great at all, as we have seen many countries like Greece default on debt, which not only destroyed their economy and geopolitical influence, but also created numerous problems for the general public. You might think that America is too big and strong to fail. However, recently, the US government came extremely close to defaulting on its creditors and starting the chain reaction which can put any country into recession, no matter how big. The US came to the brink of default when it hit its debt ceiling in 2023. The debt ceiling is the maximum amount of debt the United States can have based on how much money it collects in taxes. And as taxes are limited, so is the amount that America can borrow. In 2023, the debt ceiling was set to $31.4 trillion. So when the country reached this amount, the president and Congress had two options. Either they shut down the government or pass another bill which allows them to borrow more. Shutting down the government sounds scary, and it's very much a possibility. When the debt reaches its limit and the Congress is not able to borrow more, certain federal agencies literally have to shut down operations, as they are not allowed to finance their operations without the approval of Congress. People who work in these federal agencies are told to not come to work, and the funds are allocated to other essential operations of the government. This shutdown can affect as much as 25% of government operations and is really frowned upon in the political space due to all the disruption it causes to the people and the economy. That's why American presidents have been consistently passing new bills which keep on increasing the debt ceiling, allowing Congress to borrow more and keep things running. The most recent example of this is when Biden signed the Fiscal Responsibility Act in June of 2023. This act was not like the ones before. This act did not push up the debt ceiling. Instead, it removed the debt ceiling altogether. The debt ceiling was removed till January 1st, 2025, with the ceiling amount to be whatever the country's national debt amount is on the next day, January 2nd, 2025. Imagine running your household budget like Congress and setting the debt limit to whatever it happens to be on a future date, allowing you how much ever you want to borrow till that day comes. What a luxury it is to spend other people's money. And truly, spending has been a major cause of this $34 trillion of debt. It's really hard to grasp the scale of it, but the principles of this problem are the same as your monthly budget. The government's source of income is taxes, and they spend this money on services like Social Security, national defense, education, and so on. So every year, when the government spends more than it collects in taxes, they are left with a deficit. So, in order to keep providing those federal services, government has to come up with this money and balance out the budget. They get this money from issuing treasury bills or treasury bonds. The government sells these treasury bills as an investment to not only the public, but also to foreign banks and companies. Unlike a stock or a real estate investment where you own a part of the company or property, these bonds are solely backed by the faith and credit of the United States government. This blind trust in the government is continuously challenged by the changing economy. When the feds have to change the interest rates to fight a slow economy during lockdowns or fight increasing inflation, these changes put stress on these treasury bonds, as people sometimes just cannot buy enough bonds to cover the full federal deficit of that year. Then, to attract more investors, the government has to increase the interest rates on these bonds, which causes billions of more dollars spent on interest payments every year. It is scary that the balance of when and how the greatest country in the world will default is decided by this game of buying and selling bonds. Usually, when a country is small enough and it fails, the effects of that crash are absorbed by a bigger country or a bigger bailout. But when a country as big as the United States starts defaulting, it can create a nasty trickle-down effect of consistent losses and could push every major country into another Great Depression. Looking at how serious the consequences are, I would like to share a solution to this problem. As per the best money manager in the world, Warren Buffett, we could end the deficit within 5 minutes by passing a law that says anytime there's a deficit of more than 3% of GDP, all sitting members of Congress are ineligible for re-election. As per him, this should set priorities straight for the Congress. And as much as I would love to see that happen, the people who can pass such a law are the ones who are responsible for the mess in the first place. So what are the chances they will pass a law which harms them? Comment below what you think of the debt crisis in America. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.